when it comes to work and body of work, you know, numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? Who has put in the most amount of work? I can't see. I mean, if I see anybody outwork me, then I'll be like, nah.
Creative Conversations.
Hey Zouk family, welcome back. It's another week talking to an international superstar, but this one is arguably the most exciting for local Malaysians. We are talking to the man who put Malaysian hip hop on the map, a man who needs zero introduction in this town, in this country, actually in Southeast Asia. Joe Flizzow has joined us from the... man, I haven't even finished with this glowing introduction of the man.
Nah.
Joe, introduction of the man. I mean, I could go on for hours, Joe. You're someone that everyone, since we've done 100 episodes, people keep saying to us, you need to get Joe Flizzow, you need to get Joe Flizzow. And then my colleague John flew into Malaysia and he said, I'm going to hook you up. And here we are. So Joe, more importantly, how are you?
I'm great. You know, chilling right now, spending a lot of time at home. We just went into another lockdown. I think it's crucial that the numbers go down. So trying to do my bit. But at the same time, we just launched the track. I think, you know, we should be hitting 1 million views anytime now. So, yeah, we've been trending. So it's good to be back, you know, on top of the charts and things like that with a proper hip hop, like a banger, you know what I mean? Like a street banger, you know? Yeah, this one's a bit special because we got, you know, we'll talk more about it in a bit. But yeah, we got J-Pop, we got MK, and yeah, it's been a good weekend, you know, being number one.
First of all, many congratulations. Number two.
Oh, yo, throughout this whole interview, you know, I might be talking some mad foul ish, but yeah. So don't take me too seriously, but I'll try. You know, let's try and make this not too boring.
Well, look, Joe, first of all, many congratulations. Number two, Ciao, which we definitely will be talking about with J Park, with MK, is a huge, huge hit. And congratulations. You've actually got someone special in that music video. We interviewed Natalie Praba, and I noticed she's in your video.
Oh, yeah. So shout outs to Natalie, shout outs to Lisha, man. Liti Lama, you know, Nia, what up? So, yeah, managed to, you know, work with some really, like, you know, people from the top of the game, not just the models, but also, you know, even the makeup artists, you know, shout out to K Khaled, CK, Liao, and the entire team. You know, Sharon Baha, I think, put together an amazing team. So big ups to him. It was his directorial debut. So, yeah.
So Joe, let me ask you, we're building and launching Zouk in Las Vegas in less than 2 months. Exciting times for our friends over in America who will be watching this. Let's take it right back. It goes back all the way to Too Fat. You got Kartel Records, 2005. You are an OG when it comes to hip hop in Southeast Asia. Can you give us a background?
I performed at the Zouk Kuala Lumpur launch when it launched in, I believe that was in what, 2005?
17 years ago.
2004. I was at the launch, man. And, you know, prior to that, I was always a fan of Zouk Singapore. You know, we would going to Zouk Singapore was something we really look forward to. And I ran a night at, you know, with DJ T-Bone and Goldfish and, of course, Chill. You know, it was, you know, one of Chill's nights called Ghetto Heaven. So I was there every week. And I feel like Zouk has contributed so much to Malaysian hip-hop in the sense of educating the crowd, you know what I mean, the listeners, by bringing in, like, world-class DJs and performers, you know. I remember one day I was walking in and, you know that song, Remember Me, Robin S., right? Like, it was playing, right? So it was like a regular weekday. And I remember my mentor, like my big brother Hayes, you know, he called me and said, yo, I'm playing at Zouk tonight. It was a random weekday, if I'm not mistaken. And I walk in, I hear that song, I said, all right, warm up DJ son. Boom, it was Robin S. singing, like, with Hayes. I was like, yo, what? You know what I mean? Like, these random unannounced, like nights. And that was, I mean, announced, but maybe last minute put together. I remember being in the booth with so many amazing DJs like Primo. I remember like when I was in the booth, Primo was playing, and I was just looking at like his vinyls, like one stack, like back to back, like three more joints, yo. And it was like a very memorable moment, that even shaped me as an artist, So big shout outs to Zouk, and the list goes on and on. Like, yo, we've had DJ Cash Money, that's Jeff, like, bro. Zouk finally expanding his, wings and hitting Las Vegas. Yeah, just so for our friends in the States, yeah, Zouk has been that club. I believe Zouk Singapore, year in, year out, top 10 clubs in the world for a long time. Maybe still is. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, up there with the best from all over the world.
So yeah, Zouk Singapore is the number one in the whole of Asia for the whole world, and number three worldwide. So yeah, big for over 10 years.
It's been like that for a minute. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to see the club also evolve with the times, with the music. And I just did of course this was before lockdown, but we just did a couple of shows in Zouk Singapore last year, and that was 2019, and it was crazy. Like, yeah, crazy movie type of show. So yeah, looking forward to more shows, man.
Yeah, we need to get you up to Genting.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's do that.
So Joe, tell me, how did it all start? How did it all begin?
I come from a very musically inclined family. Like music has always been there. Whether it's singing at family events or being part of a choir, or just like my grandfather used to go visit him. He used to like do fun stuff, like tell all his grandkids, like, okay, today I'm gonna have a talent time, and then we took that shit seriously. You know what I mean? And this followed with like me falling in love with hip hop. When I was like 9 years old, I fell in love with hip hop. Prior to that, I was already a little performer. We used to live in London. My dad used to read the news for World Service and BBC, and my mom was stringing for NST based in London. I grew up in Finchley, and so I guess being Malaysians abroad, it was important that my parents instill our culture and our traditions in me. So they would let me listen to Malay songs, and I would perform these songs. Like my first toy was like a Fisher Price mic and little boombox, right? And I would perform these songs for people that would come to visit my mom and dad in London. I would like to think that I've always wanted to be. And then when we came back from London, I was like 8 years old, and my love for music continued with whatever my mom listened to. Like I remember a lot of Kool and the Gang, a lot of Stevie Wonder, a lot of Whitney Houston, a lot of Queen, And I remember going to my first concert was Stevie Wonder, bro. I was 8 or 9 years old when he visited KL. I must have been I couldn't have been older than 9 years old. So I remember when I saw Stevie Wonder, I came back, I just looked to my mom and I told her, like, when I grow up, I want to be like him. I want to be on stage. For me, it was like a magical moment. And until today, when I tell people, like, yo, what was your first concert? And I tell them, like, not trying to flex, but, I say, yeah, Stevie Wonder. Like, what? Yo, you were introduced to music at a very, very high level, at a very young age. So, and also my mom, like I mentioned earlier, she was an entertainment writer, reporter, journalist, right? So she was friends with, like, Sharifa Aini, Sudirman, Sheila Majid, like these people would roll through the crib, and I would see how stars just come in and take over the room. And I was like, yo, what is it about these cats? Like, that aura, right? But it's not just the fact that this person can sing, it's the whole package. Like Sharifani, God bless, rest in peace, Auntie Annie, like my mom's best friend, and she used to visit us in London, and they used to shut down like Dior and Gucci. Like when she would roll through in the 80s, bro, like they would shut down like these stores for her, bro. Like she was one of the biggest stars in Asia, like at that time, and my dad would go pick them up, beat up for the escort, and but yeah, so I was just exposed to this, and something like it was like, so I gravitated. I would stay up whenever like my parents' friends from the music industry would come over and chill and hang out. Like I would just like, yeah, I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm just there to just listen and vibe, And then I discovered hip hop when I was 9, 10 years old as well. It was like like back in the day in the 80s. This is for all you youngins out there, right? Like back in the day, This is prior to MP3s, you know, like you would sit down and have to, if there was a birthday party, somebody was there manning the cassette player or eventually CD player, you know. So if you didn't have, so there always be that one uncle with, you know, 'cause every household would normally have the regular one, right, with one cassette, but there'll be that one uncle, and in my case, my uncle Aman, you know, he would come through and he would have a collection, you know, like bags of cassettes and CDs, right? And it'll be a mix. I would always like volunteer to help. Like, yo, let me get a bag for you. What you need? You need. And also, it was also my way of like trying to skip the other chores. You know, this is like, you know, holidays time before, you know, before like a birthday party or something like that. Everybody else got to do something, and I'm like, I'm not trying to clean the windows or fucking sweep the floor, right? So I'll be like, hey, let me do this, you know, boom, boom, boom. And eventually they're like, hey, well, Joe's in charge of the music. And I'm like 9, 10 years old. So I would play stuff I like, and for a kid, like popping in, imagine listening to original gangster, Ice-T at 10, 11 years old, like, bro. Just Google the lyrics, bro. You know, this is crazy. The lyrics is just, but for me, like, it was so graphic, bro. Like, I'm a lobster eating, helicopter riding. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, what? And then the fashion, you know, the sound. Like, I remember, like, picking up LL Cool J CD or cassette, and then, wow, like, so with the Dookie chains and homie had a, I'll be real, like, I didn't really get the Public Enemies and the yet. You know, I would arrive there later. But I would listen to like the light and easy stuff. Like I listened to a lot of Fresh Prince, and my mom would, you know, like, hey, yo, what you listening to? Like, hey, so put the NWA to the side, you know, and I guess my uncle kind of like they weren't really mad strict with me, but they were like, yo, play this, yo, listen to this. So you know, I listened to a lot of Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff, you know.
You've hit some great memories for me. You and I are the same age,
yeah.
And.
Yeah, and then when like Criss Cross came around, like I was like, okay, I identified with Criss Cross. You know, I identified with Vanilla Ice, MC Hammer at that time. You know, like they came to Malaysia, I was at that concert, bro. Like whatever I could get, whatever. See, this was also at a time when music wasn't as accessible, so it was either what was at the store, and we're talking about, you know, Sumanjai, and we had a pretty dope record store called Penny Lane Music Arcade. It was in Subang Parade, right? And yeah, like other kids would want toys, right? Whenever we go to Subang Parade, like I would tag along. My mom's like, I was easy. Like, yo, Toys R Us, nah, that ain't my thing. Bring me the Penny Lane Music Arcade. Get me a cassette. Get me a CD. Yo, worst case scenario, get me like one single. Like that's like like, you know what I mean? So I just collected music, and you know, whatever my friends introduced me to, or you know, my uncle had in his collection was what was the foundation of, you know, hip hop for me. And thankfully, like my uncle had pretty good taste, and he liked to party a lot too. So he used to party at Base 2 with Jake Abdullah and all these cats, right? So it wasn't long till I started like tagging along to the clubs. Like I was 14, I was like, yo, bring me into the club, sneak me in. So boom, 14, 15 years old, I was in the club, bro, already. Like this is mid-90s, yeah. And some nights, the bouncers look at my uncle like, yo, man, your nephew ain't coming in, man. What is he, 12? Like, yo, nah, he ain't coming in. There are cops inside. So boom, I'll be sleeping in the car, like from 2 to 5 a.m. Sleeping in the car, bro, no handphone, nothing. Just staring into the, but then I had music. I was okay. Like, yo, put me in the car. Uncle knew, like, but it's crazy. You don't do shit like this in this day and age. And yes, Uncle Aman did bring me to the club when I was a kid. So that's my mom's youngest brother. He never knew all this, of course, until today.
I remember sitting there on Sundays and I listened to either John Peel or David Rodigan in the UK, and I'd have my cassette and I had my finger over record. And when House of Pain came on, or Cypress Hill, you just had a hit record, and that's how you made your mixtape.
How you make a mixtape, and you was just hoping that please don't talk over the intro. You know? So the night for me, the night ones was good. All the night shows when they play like randomly play music. Now the night DJs, they don't normally talk. They're probably dozing off. But yeah, bro, like that was it. And whatever I listened to, I studied. You know, I was intrigued by just by the how free they were to express, you know, things. You know, like I listened to a variety of artists. You know, from commercial artists to rap or quest and a bit more like conscious raps, and I just became a fan of rap, just rapping first. I'll be real, I just wanted to be, I wanted to out rap every kid in class, which I did like in 2 seconds, right? So then I wanted to out rap everyone, and then it was soon that I realized like, hey, I can sound like, because I used to mimic like all my favorite rappers, right? And I studied like Tretch, I studied Bone Thugs and Harmony. I studied like artists like Twister, back in the day Twister. You know what I mean? Not celebrity overnight Twister. It's just like, we studied, of course, the greats. Every single artist I studied, like Redman and how, or when Redman, when I discovered Wu-Tang, and it was kind of cool that we didn't have like so much hip hop, so I could like really take my time. Like I remember if I had, maybe I had 2 CDs a year, that was good for me because I would listen to The Chronic. Until today, I know every single word to The Chronic, to the Doggy Style, to Orange albums, to all Nas, like So it was kind of cool. Like it's cool. I didn't have 300 artists to listen to. I had maybe 4 or 2 or 3, but I would go over each word, you know what I mean? So yeah, shout outs to the greats.
It's great. I think everyone remembers the song that inspired their love of hip hop. For me, it was Too Short, Blow the Whistle. You also have Q-Tip up there. You have some of the great old school ones that I can listen to now, and I remember where I was the first time I heard it.
Exactly.
So Joe, how did it go from being a fan who's going out and enjoying it to clubs to the movement into production? Because that's a huge step. That's a step that millions would dream of doing, and becoming a recording artist.
So it was actually, nothing was really planned. I rapped a bit in high school, like talent times and things like that. But I wasn't writing yet. I was just doing covers and, just like rocking the mic at parties and stuff like that. When I finished school, I took a year off. And my dad was mad. You know what I mean? Yo, why are you taking a year off? Like, I studied for 12 years. I deserve a year off. So of course I gave him like false hopes of yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a job. You know what I mean? I want to get some experience, which I did. I mean, but I didn't get like, I told him I was gonna get like a 9 to 5, like work at a restaurant or something like that. But never. I just wanted to discover hip hop. But I was also a contributor. I wouldn't say I was a writer, but I started contributing like to local newspapers. Like NST. I got my first byline when I was 15 years old, and then when I was 16, 17, I continued to write and contribute for like the youth section of the paper or the entertainment. When Tupac died, I wrote the obituary for New Straits Times in 1996. I was 17 years old. I was in high school. So this also allowed me to have access to like concerts or award shows and stuff like that. But during this period, my best friend Christopher Kung, he studied at SAE, Sound Engineering School of Audio Engineering in Subang Jaya, in our neighborhood, and he was a first-year student. So he had to hand in an assignment, and he had the studio. Like every student had maybe like 5 hours, to complete the assignment. So most of them brought in like rock singers or bands or like solo artists playing guitar. They had a little 8-track mixer, and that was it. We were recording it. I don't even know if we would record. Nah, I don't think there was an ADAT. Maybe ADAT, maybe direct to cassette. I don't know, but it was quite basic. But for us, we've never been in the studio, so he needed an assignment. So he was like, "Yo, instead of handing in like band or rock band, I was thinking of getting you guys to rap." So we went in. So I called like 2 other friends who could rap, or were the other 2 friends of mine who we used to like rap, Malik and Kevin. So Malik, eventually we would form Too Fat, you know, and Kevin was, you know, a member of Too Fat for about 6-7 months, and then he decided it wasn't his thing. So Too Fat became Two People. So that was it. We recorded a demo. We wrote two brand new songs. We never written in our lives. My boy got an A. We got like in return we asked for like 5 cassettes, which we just duplicated, and these cassettes were passed around. So maybe like a month later, I was in Subang, and you know we was in 15, like where I used to play a lot of snooker, and like people used to just hang out there, you know. We was just watching people skate and all that, and somebody walked up to me and like, "Yo, bro, we heard your demo and want to give you guys a gig." Like, what? I don't have what? Give who a gig? Like your group? So we don't have a group. So there's just 3 friends fucking around in the studio, you know. He said, "Yeah, well, if you want to perform at the show, Poetic Ammo's performing, Innuendo's performing." We were like, "What? Say what?" So Poetic Ammo and Innuendo, they were big already at that time, right? So like, okay, maybe, all right, cool. Let me get. Oh, sorry, I had a handphone already. Yeah, a little Motorola flip. So they hit me on the celly. Still same phone number until today. Anyway, yeah. So like, yo, call me back in 20 minutes and with a group name. So because I'm gonna go print this flyer. So it was me, Malik, and Kevin, and we were like, oh, bam, bam, bam. We came up with a bunch of names. And then we were like, oh, Too Fat. Because like I said, we was watching the skaters skate, right? And like I got a lot of, I was introduced to a lot of like rap from the skaters because of skate videos. Like Wu-Tang, for instance. Like they used to use a lot of Wu-Tang tracks in skate videos. And at that time, we couldn't buy Wu-Tang CDs or cassettes. So I'll get it from my skate friends, you know? So, I mean, in Malaysia, and I think generally, the word fat was used a lot by skaters back then. Every time they land a trick, boom, yo, that's fat. For real. And this was happening in the background. And that's how we got the name Too Fat. And I never told this story like that, you know? Like, yeah. That was the truth, though. Boom, boom, boom. So we went with Too Fat. And we stuck with it, right? After I was like, oh, man, maybe we could have had a different name. But it was too late, bro. Like, we killed it on our first gig. And yeah, the rest is, I guess, yeah, that's how it started for us.
Obviously, it grew. Your career grew and grew, and you've been credited with literally booming hip hop in Malaysia. Did you find that Malaysia had an appetite for hip hop? Were they listening to the US influence, and was it growing very, very fast?
We were listening to US. We were listening to. I mean, it was funny. Like we were listening to everything, bro. Like you'd have. You have groups that would be influenced by Cypress Hill and, the whole Chicano culture, right? Obviously, Blood In, Blood Out was a big movie, and that, so it's all these small things that I think influence hip hop in Malaysia. Like you could say like shows like In Living Color, that we used to come on at 11:30, like kids who stay up and watch the show simply just to see the choreography, see the fashion, just to see like the maybe artists come and perform. So Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, these shows also influence like hip hop fashion and in Malaysia, like it's funny, like we used to have, I think maybe still have like this fascination for Japanese fashion. So in Malaysia, like there are a lot of, the same way people buy vintage clothes. In Malaysia, there are certain bookshops that sell you secondhand magazines. Like, like today's January, like they will put out the December or November issue. But it wouldn't matter to us anyway because we can't read Japanese, but we just buy it for the photos, right? And yeah, we would like cop like Japanese magazines and just like see like, oh, this is how they're doing it, So we would try to emulate that. So I think it took a while before we finally found our own identity in terms of our sound. But definitely the first few years, just like any other, an emerging scene, you're looking to your left and right and whatever you can, rap, and you're just trying to, we were all discovering it together. Like we didn't know what, there was no, like rap, lyric breakdown, site, So it's like, yeah. It took a while for me to like understand, who's Nina? Why this guy taking Nina everywhere? Oh, Nina was a 9mm. Okay. Oh, okay. I thought it was his girl. It was things like that. But it was fun, It was like, for the most part, we were just like, yeah.
It's amazing, Joe, because you're very much a household name in the whole of Southeast Asia, and you've really put it on the map. And then we look at further success coming into Malaysian artists. You look at Yuna, for instance, who obviously through an R&B space became a huge success. It's phenomenal, and it's amazing to see, especially for someone like myself who's lived here now for half a decade, to see Malaysian artists doing so well. You've got TV shows, you've got records out, you're hitting #1 spots. You must be proud of the direction that the Malaysian influence on R&B and hip hop is taking nowadays.
I'm proud. I'm proud to see the younger generation being able to be full-time choreographers, full-time DJs, full-time MCs, full-time producers, mixing engineers, all coming from the hip hop. I'm very proud to see certain individuals or groups dominate. Whatever field they're in. I'm proud to see homegirls like Yuna going out there and putting Malaysia on the map. You have dance crews Malaysian dance crews that have gone on, World Dance Championship and, like place like, top 3 in the world. You have DJs like Goldfish and Bling that have played at events like Tomorrowland, and, these guys are turntablists. They came from that school of hip hop, like long before they was up there playing that, I mean, Blink and Goldfish, they're my boys, but they turntablists. They scratch 8 hours a day, and Vestax champion, DMC champion, T-Bone and all that, DJ Caesar. So it's great, bro. But it's also a lot of hard work. People think that nothing was by accident. Talent is subjective. A lot of people are so obsessed about, I want to be the #1, but being #1, I mean, unless you really have the numbers, just like being who's the best Malaysian MC, it will always be a subjective answer. But when it comes to work and body of work, numbers don't lie. I mean, who has put in the most amount of work? I can't see. I mean, if I see anybody outwork me, then I'll be like, nah. All right, cool. You did what? All right, cool. You did 10 tracks, bro. We're gonna do 100. Like so. And it's not hating. It's not hating. It's that competitive nature that hip hop has taught me. If you look at all the genres across the board, like there will always be that battle element. Like MCs battle, DJs battle, B-boys battle, even graffiti artists, like, yo, the battle nation. I'm gonna do a piece over your piece, So that is the fire that hip hop has put in me. But for us to be, it was a constant fight, and there's still every day we're fighting in Malaysia to people used to, the minute I walk into a ballroom, for example, and I'm meeting like politicians or whatever, right? And they're so used to artists trying to like suck up to them and shit like that. But me, like, when they see me, they straight away go like, imagine like 50-year-old dude like, yo, Joe Flizzow, like, yo, bro, do that. So, okay, at first it was funny, but after 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it's not funny anymore. And like, so I did a few things to change his perception. Like I went to Harvard to come back to be able to tell cats like, yo, I just came back from Harvard. Like, where'd you go study? So then when I start talking like that, then yeah, for real. So I'm not that young punk that you can be pushed around anymore. I mean, I'm running international music label with officers in 6 countries, and I got 30 artists. Like sometimes I gotta let it be known. And I'm not saying this with arrogance. I don't have. That's not the type of person I am. But sometimes it's again, I'm getting passionate again when I talk about this, because like 1,000 times, bro, the door is like, you knock on the door and they let you in, and then they laugh at you. They leave, you leave, and then they laugh at you behind your back. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. I'm gonna come back, and some of these guys like that were there before me, that the minute when I started Kartel Records, suddenly I'm like the kid again, right? In a room full of other, label bosses, and of course, like they're like, yeah, this guy, try to bully us, and like we never took no. I mean, we never backed down on anything. Me, David, Yanis, this is my core team that started Kartel, like three of us. Like we would, yeah, like for instance, when I don't know, bro, we're just here to create history, and I think we've done that, in a lot of ways. Not just through Joe Flizzow, through the success of other artists like Sona One, Ultimate. We've created Numbers Bars. We worked with 90 artists. We did a Numbers Bars concert. We put on 42 rappers on one day. Like no one's done that. 5,000 people, stadium packed, sold out. We did hip hop in Asia, like 2 seasons, going to 30 countries, 60 cities, meeting like 100 plus hip hop artists, stars, rappers, DJs from all over. These are the things we do for the scene. Like whenever, so I'm not here to look at other rappers in Malaysia and say, what did you do for hip hop? But I know I could look back and say like, yo, I put in the work, bro. You know what I mean? With like, we don't ask for nothing in return. I don't even need you to thank me. I'm doing this for the culture, and I really mean it. And give you an example. When I did Namblas Baris, I had the option to have first right of refusal to sign every single artist that I put on. And mind you, most of these artists, that was their first time rapping in front of a camera. That was their first time getting on YouTube. That was their first time for a lot of things. And half of these guys are stars right now. And I never, play that card. I never like, even they were like, oh, so I'm free to sign with, because half of them were signed to other labels. Like Warner came, everybody would come and call me and like, yo, can I come and hang around the studio? I heard this rapper is coming. They say, yeah, you trying to work? Yeah, can we work together? I'm like, no, she's not signed to me. They're not signed to me. Like, by all means. Like, because, and a lot of people were saying, oh man, you're stupid, man. You could have signed like, because out of these 90 artists and like, or maybe 70 plus that were new, a good amount of them have become really famous, But if I were to go to something and tell people like, oh, I'm doing this for the culture or for the scene, or by the way, on the small print, like you got to sign that, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. That's not showing a good example, So yeah, we continue doing things like this for the scene, and we continue fighting for the scene, for our space to be, we have proved time and time again that, we deserve to be. I mean, I'm talking about hip hop having this place in Malaysian music, like, and I'm happy to see like 2 out of 5, the top 2 artists most streamed in Malaysia last year, K-Click and Yoni Boy. You know what I mean? And this is the same breath as, I don't know who the other 2 were, Siti and Aliza, and 2 more, I don't remember. But yeah, so that's a big look. So I keep telling everybody like, yo, we got to put in the work. We got to put in the work. There's a lot of people that want to see us not succeed. So we got to prove them wrong.
I think, Joe, it's fair to say that you deserve the credit that you get because you, A, have put Malaysia on the map, but number 2, there's very few people. Someone once said to me, the mark of someone's success when they can be known by one name and everyone knows who they are. And everyone knows who Fliz is. So I think you've achieved what you wanted to achieve.
I mean, I'm blessed to be able to still do something I love, I enjoy. It doesn't even feel like work, to be honest. So I'm really, really blessed. Like, see people complaining about their jobs. Like, I hate job. Like, boom. So, but then again, I'm not saying like, hey, quit your job and become, go. But I feel like for people like that call me like, yo, Joe, how'd you do it, man? I hate my job. It's like, yo, you gotta remember, like, if your job is taking so much away from you, you have to remember what is your form of inspiration, Like, if you used to skate when you was a teenager, why you stop skating when you're 40 years old? I mean, you might not be able to land that kickflip, but hey, half an hour of skating, I mean? Yo, this me time is important, I mean? Like, music is important. Like, I can't, I hate it when people come up to me and like, yo, man, Joe, I used to be a hip hop cat. Like, what? You used, and then what? What are you now? Oh, now I'm married. Yo, I'm married. Like, I know a lot of people, so Malaysians sometimes or Asians have that mentality like, oh, yeah, time to get serious in life and I'm going to put down the guitar and never touching it again. Well, it doesn't work like that. So I feel passion is important. That's why, I thank you for this chat. I feel the people behind Zouk from day one have been passionate, about not just, running a club and, opening up an entertainment spot, but it's also like the role Zouk has played, just for dance music, for house music, electronic music in general, hip hop, just being a place for break dancers to come, and like, have a cipher, on a Sunday, like every day, you know what I mean? Like, made a lot of friends at Zouk, and some of them have gone on to become like brothers and sisters to me, and I hope this friendship continues. So we at Def Jam would
Wait,
just say thank you for your contribution to Asian music, and now you're taking over the world, Las Vegas.
we can't thank you enough for taking the time, my friend. I mean, it's amazing to speak to someone who not only has carried the gauntlet to, you got it started for Malaysian hip hop, you've carried the gauntlet, you've inspired others, you've driven others to keep rapping. You've, as you say, you've not allowed anyone to be dissuaded by age or commitments or anything else. You've really inspired them through music. And for us to get the chance to talk to literally a hero in Malaysia is a blessing. So thank you so much.
No, I just want to say this. It's only my duty to do what I can next, group of artists that's gonna like, run with the flag again. You know what I mean? Like we got Young Raja doing big things. He just signed a deal with Alamo, and we're working on something in the States and in India for him. We got an amazing lineup, of artists from Def Jam. And like for me, I was influenced by the person that was at the launch of the first Zouk, Sheikh Haikal. Like when I saw Sheikh Haikal win Asia Bagos, you know, I told myself I want to be a rapper just like him. It's an ecosystem. One cannot um, exist without the other. So thank you very much to Zouk, for giving us a stage. For us MCs and DJs and performers performing. I hope everything goes well for you guys. 2021, man. Yeah, looking forward to the Vegas spot, man.
Well, Joe, before you go, just quickly tell us quickly about the new track. It's obviously a banger, 1 million views, number one. Tell us about it.
Oh yeah, we hit a million. This track is produced by Alif, and he was in Singapore when he sent me the track just before lockdown. So I recorded this track, I think January last year, so about a year ago, right? I knew it was kind of like fire from the get go because it was just that bad. So then we go into lockdown, and my entire album is pushed back. So during lockdown, I was just keeping in touch with friends from all over the world. Like I would call my friends in New York, my friends in London, friends in Thailand, Indonesia, boom, boom, boom. And I was making that call to J-pop. Last year, actually, a lot of people think this is our second song together because in 2019, I did a track with him and J Electronica on his album of Road Less Travel. The song is called Twisted Dream. J-pop, J Electronica, and Joe Flizzow. But actually, this is our third song together. In 2016, we did All the Way Up Asian remix. So that was, we were invited by Fat Joe's Peoples to do the official All the Way Up remix with AK69, myself, J-Pop, and so on. I was just checking on Jay, and I was like, yo, what's up, fam? Boom, boom. Yo, I got this track, fire track. You know what I mean? I'm going to let you listen to it. If you feeling the track, jump on it. Verse 3, like, boom. So I sent it to him. Didn't hear from him 2 days. Next thing you know, but I kind of expected it, I know he went straight to work. And he was like, yo, you got mail. And boom. And I heard it, and I was like, oh, snap. On the other hand, like, MK was, trying to, prior to the lockdown, he was trying to get a song done together. Couldn't find a beat that was, fire enough. All right. He was in Sabah, and knowing that J-Pop had already recorded, I hit him up And I was like, yo, you want to jump on this track? And he was already a fan of the song because he came to the studio one day and he was like, yo, let me jump on this track. Let me jump on this track. I'm like, nah. I don't know. I didn't know where I was going with it yet, right? But yeah, I didn't tell him that Jay was on the song. I was like, yo, MK, yo, about that Ciao track, I'm gonna send you the -1. Same thing. 3 days later, boom, I get the vocals. And that was when I told him, like, yo, guess what? J Park is on the track too. So MK was like, snap, And yeah, I'm just happy the song is out. I'm happy the responses has been great. We've been trending on Twitter too, so it also goes to show that music is a common denominator. It can bridge cities, it can cross cultures and break barriers. So shout outs to J Park, shout outs to MK, shout outs to everybody that sang on Ciao. Like, if you listen to Ciao, it's truly an Asian track because I rap in first verse, I rap in Malay, and then I rap second verse, I rap in a bit of Indonesian. I got a bit of Indonesian in me. So the word Ciao itself is Italian. MK rap comes in with a bit of Sabahan, bit of, of course, Malaysian Sabahan, bit of Arab, and then of English. And then there's J Park comes in with Korean a bit towards the end. So it's really great to see something like this, come to fruition and, come to life. Yeah. Thank you to everybody that, supported the release. So more music to come this year.
And we will continue to support. And Joe, once again, thank you so much for taking the time, man. For us to talk to a true Malaysian hero and legend is a huge, humbling experience for us. And we can't thank you enough for taking your time out of your precious day to talk to us, man.
Thanks, mate.
You stay safe.
Stay up. Yeah.
Take care.